I'm 27 now, but I still remember that night with disturbing clarity. I was only 13 years old when it happened. My parents had gone out of town for a wedding, leaving me at home with my older cousin, Ethan, who was 19 at the time. Our house sat at the edge of a quiet suburban neighborhood in Oregon Big Old, and always full of strange noises at night. At first, I felt excited. I finally had some freedom. Ethan ordered pizza, watched TV with me for a while, then casually told me he was heading out to meet friends. He promised he'd be back before midnight, and made me swear not to tell my parents. I trusted him. It was family. The moment the front door closed, the house felt wrong. I tried distracting myself by watching a horror movie in the living room. About halfway through, the sounds of the house started getting to me, the pipes knocking, the air vents whispering, the floorboards creaking like footsteps. I shut the TV off and went upstairs to my room, my heart racing for no reason I could explain. I played video games for hours until I finally got tired. As I lay in bed, half asleep, I heard the front door open and close downstairs. I assumed Ethan was home, but then I heard movement. Not normal movement. Slow, careful, heavy footsteps pacing the first floor. Ethan usually came straight upstairs. This person didn't. I quietly got out of bed and peeked out my window. Ethan's car wasn't in the driveway. That's when fear hit me hard. I had no phone. No way to call for help without leaving my room. I locked my door even though I knew it wouldn't stop anyone determined enough. Then I heard footsteps on the stairs. They stopped right outside my door. The handle turned. The door opened. Someone walked into my room. I dove into my small closet, pulling the door shut, just as the floor creaked under their weight. I could hear them breathing. I could hear them touching my desk, opening drawers, moving things around. I bit my hand to stop myself from crying. Minutes felt like hours. Then I heard something heavy being dragged across the floor. Eventually, the footsteps left. I stayed frozen in that closet until I heard Ethan shouting my name from downstairs. Nearly 2 hours later, the house had been robbed. But whoever it was had stood in my room while I hid inches away. And that wasn't the last time I experienced true terror. When I was even younger, around 7 years old, I lived with my grandmother in a small town in Montana. Everyone knew everyone. We trusted our neighbors. One neighbor in particular, Mark, was always around. He drank beers with my uncle, helped fix fences, and joined family barbecues. To me, he was safe. One afternoon, my grandma left briefly to pick up my aunt. She warned me not to open the door for anyone. 10 minutes later, there was a knock. Mark's voice called my name. He said he needed to use the phone. He was drunk. Once inside, his tone changed. He grabbed my arm and dragged me into the kitchen. He pressed a knife against my side and whispered threats I still can't repeat. I was saved only because my grandma came home early. They never called the police. Years later, I realized why. At 16, I experienced something even worse. I was home alone during spring break when an old friend, Lucas, asked to drop off a mutual friend, Ryan, for the night. He sounded panicked, desperate. I agreed. Ryan immediately started asking if the doors were locked. He smiled in a way that made my skin crawl. In the kitchen, he reached for a knife. I stopped him just in time. I made an excuse to step outside, then locked him out and called my brother. Later, I learned Ryan had been having violent delusions and believed he needed to hurt someone to stop something worse. I avoided death by seconds. But the most horrifying event happened when I was 10. I was playing basketball outside while my mom ran errands. I looked up at my sister's bedroom window. Someone was standing there, watching me. Later that night, I woke up to a man standing at the foot of my bed. He ran. When I screamed, jumped straight out my window. They never found anything, but he knew my name. He watched me. Waited. I thought the worst moments of my life were behind me. After everything that happened, the break-ins, the close calls, the nights where I thought I wouldn't survive, convinced myself that those experiences were just horrible coincidences. Bad luck stacked on top of bad luck. I was wrong. This happened when I was 21, during my second year of college. I had moved into a small off-campus apartment in Northern California. It wasn't fancy thing walls, old locks, flickering hallway lights, but it was cheap, and that's all that mattered to me at the time. I lived alone. For the first few months, everything was normal. Then the noises started. At first, it was subtle, soft footsteps in the hallway outside my door late at night. I assumed it was neighbors. College students keep weird hours. But then I started noticing things inside my apartment. My desk chair would be turned slightly when I knew I hadn't touched it. Cabinets were cracked open. My bathroom mirror once had fingerprints on it, large ones smudged at the edges like someone had leaned in close. I blamed stress. One night, around 2:30 a.m., I woke up to the sound of my phone vibrating. A text. "Unknown number. You left your light on again." My blood went cold. I hadn't given my number to anyone new, and the only light on was the small lamp in my living room, something you couldn't see unless you were standing directly outside my apartment door. I didn't respond. Another message came seconds later. "I didn't mean to scare you." I grabbed my phone and locked myself in the bathroom. My hands were shaking so badly I could barely dial my brother. While the phone rang, I heard it. A soft knock. 3 slow taps. Right on my front door. My brother answered, half asleep, and I whispered that someone was outside my apartment. He told me to call the police immediately. Before I could hang up, the doorknob turned. Slowly, carefully. Like whoever was on the other side didn't want to make a sound to lock. I stayed silent, crouched in the bathtub, listening to my own heartbeat pounding in my ears. After a minute, the handle stopped moving. Then, footsteps walked away. The police arrived 10 minutes later. They searched the building. No one was found. But when an officer checked the security camera in the hallway, my stomach dropped. The camera had been covered. Perfectly. Whoever did it knew exactly where it was. The next morning, my landlord called me. He said something that made my chest tighten. He asked if I had been letting maintenance into my apartment late at night. Primero told him no. He went quiet for a moment before explaining that one of the former maintenance workers had been fired months earlier for entering tenants' apartments without permission. The man still had a master key. They never recovered it. I moved out 2 days later. Even now, years later, I still check locks twice. I still sleep facing the door. And sometimes late at night I get the feeling I've had since I was a kid, that someone isn't breaking in randomly. They're waiting, watching, learning routines. Because the scariest thing I've learned through all of this is simple. The most dangerous people don't rush. They wait until you feel safe. By the time I was 23, I thought I'd learned how to protect myself. I double-checked locks. I never answered doors at night. I memorized exits, wherever I lived. That's why I wasn't worried when I moved into my new apartment in Arizona. It was a quiet complex. Gated. Cameras everywhere. I even checked online reviews, nothing strange reported. The landlord, Mr. Halvorsen, was polite but distant. He handed me the keys, gave a quick tour, and left. The apartment was small, but clean. Or so I thought. About a week after moving in, I noticed something odd. One night, while rearranging furniture, I leaned my hand against it and felt a slight vibration like air moving behind drywall. I brushed it off. Old buildings make weird sounds. A few nights later, you woke up around 3 a.m. to a faint noise. Breathing? Not mine. I sat up slowly, holding my breath. The sound stopped. The next morning, I noticed scratches near my closet floor, thin lines, like something heavy had been dragged repeatedly. That night, curiosity got the better of me. I pressed my ear against the wall. That's when I heard it. A whisper, so faint, I almost missed it. My name. I jumped back, heart racing. The next day, I confronted the landlord. I asked if there were any maintenance shafts or unused rooms connected to my apartment. His face changed. Just slightly. He said no. Around 2:40 a.m., I heard it again, the breathing. Louder this time. Closer. Then a click. From inside my wall. Something slid open. A thin vertical panel in my closet shifted just enough to reveal darkness behind it. There was a space back there. A room that wasn't on the lease. I ran. I didn't grab anything. I didn't look back. Police later found signs someone had been living inside that hidden space food wrappers, blankets, even a notebook. Inside it were dates, times, and detailed notes about me. I moved cities after that. Changed numbers, deleted social media. Told no one my address except immediate family. For the first time in years, life felt quiet. Too quiet. I was 25 when it happened. I worked late shifts at a warehouse in Nevada. One night, while clocking out, I noticed the same car parked across the street. Black, sedan, tinted windows. It was there the next night. And the next. I told myself I was paranoid, until I found something taped to my apartment door. A photograph. It was me walking to my car after work. Taken from behind. The timestamp was from that same night. I called the police immediately. They took the photo, asked questions, promised patrols. Nothing happened. 2 nights later, I woke up to my phone lighting up. No caller ID. A text followed. You always run, but you never disappear. My chest felt tight. I couldn't breathe. Then I heard it. A chair creak in my living room. I grabbed a kitchen knife and crept forward. The apartment was dark, except for one thing. My front door was wide open. On the table sat another photograph. This one was worse. It was my bedroom. Taken while I was asleep. That's when I realized the truth. It wasn't one person. It was never random. It was someone who had been watching me since I was a kid, learning my habits, waiting for chances. I moved again after that night. New state, new job, new name. But sometimes, when I lock my door and turn off the lights, I still feel it. That familiar feeling, like someone is standing just outside my room, waiting.